How about that? And because I got some important things to talk about as usual, so let's go on and get with them. Uh, been having a lot of technical difficulties, but we're gonna make it happen because we've got good stuff to talk about. And so we're gonna talk tonight or this morning. I've been up for a long time, so I'm confused trying to get these technical things sound and in place. But we're gonna talk this morning about how do I know if I'm experiencing emotional abuse? How do I know if I'm experiencing emotional abuse? Because a lot of times when we have been experiencing emotional abuse on a constant basis, we don't recognize it. We don't recognize what it is. And what I'm seeing with the individuals I work with, that sometimes the abuse is so perpetual that it's not even seen as abuse anymore. And so when we're here, I'm here to try to support you with being able to sometimes identify what abuse is. And maybe we'll do a session on that one day, like what is abuse? Because what I'm seeing with a lot of my clients is that a lot of times we're not even able to identify what emotional abuse is because it's been such commonplace. And because many times, like we talked about the other week, that we're feeling gaslighted or being gaslighted into believing that our feelings do not matter. And so, what does emotional abuse look like? What does it look like to you? Do you feel like that at this point, those of you all who are checking out this video understand and are able to identify what emotional abuse is? Are you in an emotionally abusive relationship with a child, with a friend, with a lover? It's important. And so we're going to go through some things, and you're going to hear it a little bit in a little bit of a different way than maybe one of the ways that you've heard in the past, because this is what we do here. Um, so how do I know if I'm experiencing emotional abuse? But one thing that you'll see if you get support from me, is that I try not to really reflect much, or I don't spend a great deal of time reflecting on what others are doing to you, although that's a big piece. We talk about that a good bit of the sessions, a good majority of the sessions. So don't get me wrong, but my primary focus is on you. My primary focus is on you and how you are being able to navigate, and how you are being able to be heard, and how you are being able to experience these situations that you're in. So that's what I talk to you about, like what's going on with you in a relationship. Because if we talk about the other person, people can move and go out of your life and new people come in, but then the baseline, the person, the common denominator is me. That person, I'm still doing the same things and attracting the same people. So a lot of times, what we'll talk about is, uh, where are you in the relationship? And when we're talking about people pleasing, many times that is a piece that has been not necessarily dismissed, but not taken into consideration enough. Where are you? Where are your feelings? So we're gonna talk about this. So, am I being one of the ways to find out if I'm being or experiencing emotional abuse, from a different angle here, is, am I being emotionally abusive to myself? Okay. And see, this is why I'm saying that a lot of what I focus on when I'm doing my coaching, when I'm doing my psychotherapy, is I'm focusing on that individual. Because what happens is many times we're being unkind to ourselves, and we don't even know it, because that has been the default. Okay. Am I being emotionally abusive to myself? What does that look like if I'm being emotionally abusive to myself? See, what happens is that if I am not taking care of myself emotionally, then guess what's going to happen? I am going to attract people who also don't take care of me emotionally. Why? Because I have not set up the baseline that says this is how I am going to be treated or how I should be treated. I can't even real talk train somebody to treat me in a way that emotionally suits me because because I just can't do it because I am not doing that for myself. And that's when we start talking about self-care and things like that. But on an even deeper level, am I even noticing if I'm being abusive to myself? Because a lot of times when we are not emotionally taking care of ourselves, and again, I'm sorry if this is offensive to some people, is because there was a lack of an emotional attachment and connection that was needed uh, with your caregivers. They were great people, but they just didn't understand how to do that. So therefore, many times we are programmed. Do you ever hear your parents in your head? Like your dad, his criticisms, your mother, her criticisms. So what happens is that our thoughts and our way of thinking much has been shaped by those who brought us up. And so when we leave from them, some of them, for some of you all, they're not even alive anymore. Okay. But when we leave from them, we carry the same criticisms with ourselves. And so the things that we could look at, if we were to give an honest look about what was happening sometimes in these relationships, and if our emotional needs were being met, and if that was a no, the thing ends up becoming now is that now I'm perpetuating the same cycle of dealing with me to myself. And therefore, I show up to the world and to those who I fall in love with, those who I'm in relationship with, those who even I raise as my children. I show up that way and I tell them pretty much that it's all right to be critical of me. I'm not telling them that verbally, but because I'm so critical of myself, because I'm not so much in love with myself, so because I'm doubting myself, because I'm questioning about how good I am or if I bring enough to the table. So because I have doubts about that, I people please. And because all this is happening, it's impacting my relationships. So the big question before we even move to anybody else is how are you treating you? Because when that changes, when that changed for me, the whole game changed. So now, no, you can't come up to me and just be a critic because I know what I bring to the table. So I'm looking at, is this criticism constructive? And then if it is, I need to listen. Okay. Because we need to learn. But when you're another insecure person or a narcissist or something like that, or a hater or something like that, and you come up with a criticism, not anybody could just come up with criticisms that I value because I have to understand again, number one, do you care about me? Number two, do you have my best interest? And that's a baseline. What I teach for anything that comes in the door that's a criticism. Does this person care for me? Do they have my best interest? If any one of those is a no, we need to just stop the conversation. Why are you entertaining conversation with someone who doesn't care about you or doesn't have your best interest? Okay. And so it starts with you. Some of us don't know what being emotionally available for ourselves is because we discount our own emotions. We're not in touch with our bodies. Like some that gut thing is serious. Like sometimes are you having discomfort when certain people come around or when they speak to you in a certain way? Does it cause your body that they have a book out that's a really good book by Bezel, I forget his name, but it's called The Body Keeps Score. Your body keeps score when certain people around you. Do you feel uneasy? Right? Okay, so that's your body telling you that something is not right. And many of us who have been through abusive situations are very familiar with what is not right, and we can sense it when it comes in the door, but then we overwhelm ourselves and we overstimulate ourselves with being in the company and the environment of people who don't have our best interests. So this is something we have to target. Not being in touch with your body is if things make you feel uncomfortable, changing the environment. Okay. Um, and some of you are in harsh environments to where the people that you're with are requiring of you more than what they should be. But this is too much of a commonplace for us. So yeah, this has been coming up a lot lately. um when we're talking about the body, and I'm gonna get real, right? And you're a woman, the person that you're being intimate with, is it comfortable? Like, this is what I'm doing. This is what people come talking to me about, whether it's in counseling or coaching. Okay. They're coming and talking to me about, like, I don't like to have sex that way. It makes me, it's uncomfortable. Like basic things like this are some of the basic things that some of you all are dealing with or have been navigating with, have been carrying for a good bit of your life, being discomforted in your body, a perpetual abuse. And because there has been a conditioning and programming to believe that if I speak, then therefore I'm complaining. Therefore, I probably need to just let it go. It's unnecessary. Am I nagging? Whatever it is that you think about when you feel uncomfortable and you tell yourself to correct yourself on that without speaking out to the person who's violating you. Okay. Why is it that if I'm being physically violated, that's okay? And some people say, well, it's not that it's okay. Well, what is it? I'm allowing this to happen to me. It's causing me discomfort. We have to be able to understand that this is a sign that I need help. Do I want to continue to live the rest of my life being discomforted by people who violate me? I'm sorry, I'm coming hard, but this is true. This is real talk. And I know it is because I'm dealing with it on a day-to-day basis. And some of you all know that this is what you're experiencing. And for some reason, you allow it because you think that it's something wrong with you speaking up about it. So you haven't been given voice, and you haven't been in environments that appreciate your voice. So then you attract new environments that don't appreciate your voice, and it becomes a vicious cycle. So the answer, and you could just in this session right now, because this is the solution. How do I know if I'm experiencing emotional abuse? Well, am I being emotionally abusive to myself? Am I allowing for certain things to happen that shouldn't happen? Because once that changes, then I start attracting different. I've experienced this in my own life. I'm not the same guy that I used to be. Like, it's just ridiculous. Okay. So, and it's been many years, and it's not something that I have to work hard at. And I attract people who respect me. Or if I attract somebody who doesn't, they got to go, because I'll tell you. I don't care. I will tell you. You feel what I'm saying? But that wasn't always me, because I was so interested in having people in my space, because again, not knowing what you bring into the table. So, what does this look like in friendships with a friend? Agreeing with everything that your friend says or everything that your child says, even though you know that these things that they're saying is wrong. Why are you doing that? That's causing distress on your body. It's causing distress in your body that you don't even know. Okay, because you're feeling that I'm not saying it's always you need to speak out against. Say if something is not right, you don't agree with it, then you have to just talk about it. What I'm saying is that there are situations and things that are going on that are impacting you in a negative way, and you're being in agreement with people, with friends, with children, and it's not serving you. So that's where we start. That's emotional abuse being brought onto yourself. Okay. You so you should always be available. So you're in the circle with people who have the mentality and thinking that you should always be available to them.